What is real and what is an illusion? Questions you'll find yourself asking as you experience this incredibly deep game. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice was developed by Ninja Fury and is playable on PC and PS4. This is a review of the PC version, and with that being said, the PC version runs like a game should. However, some people with AMD graphics cards have encountered some issues, and even on my system, I had some teething issues, where when the game needs to load in a new area, the game's frame rate will take a tanking and will not recover, even after changing the graphical settings. And the only way to fix this problem was to restart the game. Luckily, the problem didn't continue and it never came up again during my second playthrough or even my third playthrough.
Four.
As soon as you start up the game, it will ask you to use headphones in order to get the best experience possible that the game can offer. And without a doubt, headphones are a must, since the game has a very heavy emphasis on sound, which I'll get to later. This is a campaign-only experience, so the opposite of Lawbreakers, but just like Lawbreakers, the game is sold at half price and not the full $60 or £42. Just like Lawbreakers, you pay for what you get. In this case, a story-driven experience, and with that, the game has been made with a very low budget. Very different from Ninja Fury's other creations with AAA budgets. I recommend checking out the behind the scenes of the development process, since Ninja Fury has been very transparent, showing all the steps through the years to get to the finished product. I want to point this out, the game looks and feels like a AAA game. So what Ninja Fury has managed to create on a low budget is nothing short of outstanding. Their goal was to create a AAA product without the massive budget and publisher breathing down their necks, and they have succeeded. The story starts with Senua, a Celtic warrior on a boat made of a trunk of a tree, traveling through thick fog before landing on a plant-rich swamp. And man, does the graphics look good. The game uses the Unreal Engine 4 and boy does it show. More games need to use this engine. Why? Well, just take a look.
This is not a place of rest. I can't do this. Go back, go back. They're going to do that to you. Can you see them? Can you see them? They're going to do that to you. Stop. Can you feel them?
However, the game seems like it was ported over from the PS4 version, since the settings is very basic, and in some instances, if you look at the shadows in the game, they will only appear if you are close to the object that is projecting the shadow. I don't particularly want to see that when the game is on max settings. As Senua is on the boat, there are voices in her head which you can hear, all bickering, telling her what she is doing is wrong. But there is one voice which is more dominant, and this one is like Senua's guardian angel, letting you know more about Senua and what she is thinking.
She's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. Bravery only means something to those afraid of death. Senua's fear runs far, far deeper.
So you may be asking, why is there voices in her head? Well, Senua suffers from psychosis, and the game focuses around that, and it does amazingly well. As Senua gets out of the boat, she looks straight at the camera, with the voices saying she has seen us. And with that, the game has just told you that not only does Senua have different voices in her head, but you are one of them. Think about it. You control her, you tell her where to go and what to do, and by doing this, it makes sense to be able to hear the other voices in her head, since you are one of them. And away you go to find her beloved Dillion on a journey through Viking hell with you right behind her.
Spill the blood of Certain and take his mark, and I will cheer you from the underworld and forever be in your debt.
You destroyed everything, everyone, but not me. Fight me now!
The next thing you'll notice is the cutscenes. They are without a doubt very well done. Very smooth transitions from gameplay to cutscene which never pulls you out of the experience. No camera cuts or changes, it is all one take. And it makes the game feel like you're seeing everything from the perspective of Senua, which you are. And the cutscenes emphasize this with great motion capture of face movements, makes Senua feel alive.
Did you think that I would let you go? That you lost me back in the wilds? I will never let you go. You can't get rid of me. I am your shadow. And I will be watching when you draw your last dying gasp.
I'm not ready to die.
The game also uses live action sequences as well as in-game animations. By having characters from Senua's past appear before you in live action form makes it seem like a memory.
It's just a memory.
Truth? Is that you?
For my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar.
He's lost.
An old fool.
The game has no UI. No tutorial, it is up to you to figure out. The game will give you hints by using other means, but it is all on you. The story is slowly explained to you from the voices in Senua's head as you go deeper and deeper into the darkest parts of Senua's psychosis. As you go through the game, puzzles will be the main thing you will find yourself doing. Puzzles like trying to find shapes and objects in plain sight, since Senua, because of her psychosis, can see things that no one else can. The game also tries to help you not get lost when you're trying to do this. When you get close to a symbol or shape, the symbol will appear all around you. So like I said before, the game tries different ways to help you without saying, do this or go here.
Why is she doing this? Why doesn't she?
The start of the game is a bit slow, but I like that since it felt like the calm before the storm. Since when the storm hits, it hits hard. The combat in Hellblade is nothing short of great. At the start, the combat is a bit lackluster, but as the game adds new enemies and the difficulty starts to ramp up, it is a sight to behold.
She's injured. Not gonna make it. Too slow.
The enemies are made up of Viking-like creatures, all oversized and daunting to fight. As you start taking down the enemy's health, you can see the damage done to their bodies. They begin to hold their wounds and begin to slow down and start to stumble. And the same happens to you. When you start taking damage, you begin to slow down. Instead of being able to evade for a massive roll which can get you far away from enemy attacks, you can only kind of move out of the way just in time. And this keeps up the tension of the combat, where when you take damage, it's gonna get harder and harder. The game has a permadeath mechanic, which is one of the best I have ever seen. It's called the Root, and it is the darkness's grip on Senua. Every time you fail, the root grows. You can see it growing up Senua's arm. If you fail too many times, the game is over. You lose all of your progress and you need to start again. The reason why I like this mechanic is that it gives you another chance if you do mess up. At the beginning, you are learning and failing is bound to happen. After you progress through the game, the root will grow by itself, making the likelihood of failing at the end not an option, raising the stakes and forcing you to remember what you have learned in the past and how do you counter certain enemies, and to listen to the voices in Senua's head to stay alive.
The stench of rot. She can almost taste it. Do you smell it? No. Don't worry. Not everyone can. It was a warm spring day when she went to the river with Dillian and the others. But the water. She could taste the rot. But no one else could. She knew something was wrong. Something sinister.
You came through the wrong door. Where's your sword? To defend yourself. What is that creature? You can't defend yourself. It's Dillian. Find me. Where's Dillian? Where are you?
So, is this game hard? Well, in a way, yes, since the game leaves everything to you to figure out. But the game's difficulty is just right in my opinion. There is an auto difficulty mode, which the game will analyze how you are doing and will decrease or increase the difficulty accordingly, which is really nice to see. Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, the camera. So what is wrong with it? Well, nothing. The camera was designed this way to save money and to make the game better. The camera makes the game feel claustrophobic, which is good since the game is trying to put you into Senua's head. And yet, people have been crying like idiots, saying that they don't like it and want Ninja Theory to put in an FOV slider so they can change it. Well, I have one thing to say to those people: no. Why would you want that? If you change the camera, you change the entire game. Not only does it make you feel claustrophobic, but the sound and the combat has a big part to play as well. And now I can finally talk about the audio. The game's sounds have all been recorded using binaural audio. What is that? Well, it is an audio recorded as if a human hearing would hear the sound. And so the voices sound like they are coming from everywhere. And the sounds of the game is very unsettling, since it sounds like you are there. And this is why headphones is a must. Now going back to the camera, since in combat there is no indication to block or parry and everything is on you, since the camera is so close you cannot see an enemy behind you, leading to a cheap shot at your back, or that is what you might think, but nope. Instead, the voices in Senua's head will be your helpers. They will help you in the fight by telling you if you should evade, block, or activate the special ability called Focus. They will also shout out if there is an enemy behind you. With the sound of their voices, sounding like they were actually shouting at you from behind, which is so cool.
He's gone! Behind you!
If you change the camera, then this feature is pointless and you will destroy those aspects of the game. This is so unique and interesting. Going back to the voices in Senua's head, some cheer you on, others will put you down, and it is this dynamic in Senua's head which makes you feel like you are right in the middle of an argument.
Listen to them, listen. Don't.
To break the seal, align the ravens with the mark of Valravan.
What does it mean?
Which ravens? Can't you see them?
Try to find.
Line up the ravens.
Every so often, the game will do something amazing. These moments are used sparingly, which is a shame, but it makes them so much more enjoyable and leaves you begging for more. Even though you don't get more, you still are begging for them. Like taking away your vision, leaving you in almost complete darkness, and by using audio, try to move your way around dangerous enemies. To having an area where a monster lingers in the dark and only the light can save you.
Her father tried to help her.
But she wouldn't listen.
He was doing his best.
Hellblade has its fair share of boss battles as well, with some of them really standing out like the monsters in the dark. It will run away into the darkness and you will need to listen to figure out whereabouts it is before he charges at you. As you can guess, this game has so much emphasis on audio, and I love it.
Find him.
Throughout the game, you will find pillars called lore stones. The lore stones are pillars that you can activate, and when you do, a voice will start to speak talking about Viking lore, like Thor and Ragnarok. Just like the rest of the game, you are not instructed to find them, and they can be found right in front of you and off the path. At the end of the game, before the last fight, the game will show you how many of them you had found. So there must be something special about them. So if you missed some of them, if you restart the game, the ones you had found in the last saved game will carry over, leaving you to focus on finding the ones you did not find. If you find all the lore stones, it will unlock a secret scene before the end of the game. It won't change the ending.
Bitter cold to the north, fiery hot to the south.
To fight two gods first.
They say the cold formed ice, which melted from the sparks from the south.
Who is it?
It's coming. That song again.
Is it?
It's Hela.
Yes, the source of the darkness. It's coming. This is your moment.
I'm sorry. I can't watch this.
Hellblade tries to tackle a very delicate subject matter by putting you right in the thick of it. And after the game ended, after over 7 hours of gameplay, I came away having not only an amazing experience, but learned something about something I had no knowledge of. By showing increasingly disturbing scenes, dreamlike sequences, voices constantly in your head, and the journey itself. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is an amazing experience. It's not a perfect experience, but it is incredible, and everyone should give this game a try, since it is so unique and good. The journey is satisfying and exciting all the way. The use of sound is incredible, and the way the game makes you feel like you are part of Senua's psychosis is uncanny. The game is also sold at a very reasonable price, so what are you waiting for? Get some headphones and experience something which will make you question what is real and what is only in your head. So everyone, if you like this review, click the like button. If you didn't, you know what to do. Go check out my other reviews that I've done in the past. And if you like the kind of games that I like, click that subscribe button, click that share button, comment any questions about any games that you have, or just comment in general about anything you want. I'll reply, and I will see you all in the next video.
To the mountain.
She's a good girl, isn't she? Look. So clever. Did you miss us? Oh, she
There's a door.
You can do it. You can see it. Come on, Senua.
Go away. I'm not listening.
Please don't go. I want you to stay. I'm begging you, please. Please don't leave here. I don't want you to hate for all the hurt that you feel. The world is just illusion, trying